Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thank you for tuning into this video. Silver stacking is a unique investment. Precious metals have a unique advantage above and beyond most assets and most investments. It's because gold and silver have intrinsic value within themselves. It doesn't matter who says what that coin is worth what. The 1 ounce of silver inside that coin is where the value lies. So silver can be extremely addictive. It's extremely attractive, especially as prices start to rise, bringing in a lot of new investors from stock markets, cryptocurrency, and even people that never have invested in their life, right? And this goes to show how small the community is because unlike Bitcoin, silver stacking gets swept under the rug, right? Especially from the political side or the government side, because gold and silver is a direct threat to the US dollar, since you're transferring your money from fiat currency into something that goes against fiat currency, right? So this article is talking about why people love silver, some of the benefits, some of the potential that lies behind it. And I love the title of the video. It says, "Don't love silver? Well, you will soon." There's something about silver that drives certain individuals nuts. And the silver stacking community, especially on YouTube, is extremely strong, right? It's extremely strong. We're very passionate about precious metals, more specifically silver, because we see the opportunity, we see the potential that lies ahead. Even when silver was $11, even when there was a bear market for several years, I'm making videos talking about why I love silver, why I still think silver will explode. Most people, when silver is low, they deem it off as a bad investment. I just look at it as an opportunity to buy my silver for cheaper. And I'm sure a lot of you do as well. So I'm going to jump into this article. I just wanted to give a little backstory, a little insight into a silver stacker's mind, because I'm sure this huge bull run in silver is going to drive a lot of new potential stackers. So if gold was the metal that drove the conquistadors mad in recent decades, silver has had the power to induce near psychotic states among its holders. I almost wrote investors, but that is too dispassionate a term for the true believers in silver. That was in the Financial Times early this month. I must confess, I am guilty as charged. Silver is like crack to me. I can never really get enough of this stuff. And the urge to buy more of it is a temptation I need to keep under control. And this goes into budgeting and balance, right? There's 3 words that I always tell stackers to keep in mind: patience, budgeting, and balance. It's so addicting, especially when you first get into silver stacking, that you'll overspend. You'll spend 75% of your paycheck. You know, you're putting yourself in a very risky and dangerous situation. You gotta learn how to budget, and this is a real thing, right? There's nothing like, waiting for that package to come and it arrives in your mailbox and you unbox it, and to actually hold the silver in your hand. It's like treasure hunting, but it's also mixed in with Christmas. And there's no third party, there's no vault halfway across the country or halfway across the world that's storing your silver. You are in complete control of your wealth. I like to say, if you can't hold it, you don't own it. That's the saying of the stackers. There's just something about its luster and weight that's hard to describe, but kindles a relentless desire to acquire more of it. If you hold a $20 bill in your left hand and hold a 1 ounce silver coin in your right hand, it is blatantly obvious which one has more value. It's obvious. While I was originally drawn to silver from an investment angle, I now see myself as less of a silver investor as I do a silver collector. I own a lot of the stuff and find it hard to imagine a scenario where I wouldn't want to own any. The FT continues, "For a certain kind of American, silver is part of an ideology, and it goes along with owning semi-automatic rifle with lots of spare ammunition." And this is going into, canned goods. This is going into, more of the SHTF side of things. That's kind of why I got in as well. Being a prepper, being I guess prepared for, and you don't have to wear your tin hat for this. You don't have to build a bunker. It can just come from a point of view or a perspective that, if things do happen or things get worse, especially nowadays with the economy, I just want to prepare and have a tradable currency. And back historically, gold and silver is the easiest, most popular trade of currency. So the most committed are the silver stackers who squirrel away stacks of silver coins to trade for essentials after social or societal collapses. And that's what I was kind of just mentioning. Do not argue with these people. Just back off without making any sudden or threatening movements. I'll leave it to your imagination just how much of that description applies to me. But fittingly, this derision of the silver stacker, which was titled "Don't Bet on the Silver Boom" and gave a bearish case for silver, was published on July 3rd, right before silver started booming. See, it doesn't have to. See, most people, they invest into something after it's already exploding because they're like, oh, it's going up, I must buy it. Silver stackers, we buy it before it explodes. We buy it for cheap, and then as it explodes, we sell it. We buy low, sell high. Buy the dips, sell the tops. Most people buy high and sell it low. Right now, most people are buying their silver right now. The most expensive it's been in 10 years. This is when most people's buying it. Wouldn't you want to get it on a discount? If you could fast forward a couple of years and look at a chart for the last year or so, and you would say, when would you buy? When should you sell? You would say, oh, I should buy it in March when it was $11, and I should sell it when it's $23. But most people are buying it at $23 instead of selling it because it's the herd mentality. This is when the most attraction, this is when there's YouTube videos, news articles, friends and family talking about it. This is when everyone's talking about it, and this is when the hype, just like Bitcoin, the Bitcoin boom, most people bought Bitcoin at $20,000. I bought Bitcoin at $1,800 and sold it at $20,000. Most people bought it at $20,000 because that's when everyone was talking about it. You don't want to follow the herd. You want to get in before the curve. You want to see the bigger picture. You want to be ahead of the game, and that's what silver stackers see. That's why, and there's so many things pointing towards higher silver prices, from supply and demand, right? From the gold to silver ratio, from silver's intrinsic and historical value, from the Fed, with QE and monetary stimulus and overspending and the dollar crashing, and how silver with 5G technology is the most highly conductive metal for thermal conductivity and electricity, and the demand of silver is booming, but the supply is diminishing from miners abandoning silver mines. There's so many reasons why silver is a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. We see all of it. It's obvious. It's blatantly obvious to us, but to the everyday person, they look at silver and say, oh, it's a bad investment. Now do you understand why we're so passionate? And I hope you're following along, and I hope you can relate to any, even the littlest bit of this, because if you do, you're definitely a silver stacker. So that's the silver price in dollars, where it has climbed back to the highs of 2014. In pounds, the price of silver has made it much further back to 2013 levels. So in the depths of March, this is when a silver was $12. When silver was plummeting, I said the silver buying opportunity of a decade was coming. Just as silver got whacked in the depths of the financial crisis before booming afterwards, I argued that the same thing was happening during the Wu flu shock, and with silver primed to boom in the wake of all the money printing afterwards. Tavi Costa, a fund manager who my colleague Kit Winder had a podcast with, posted a chart recently arguing a similar point, declaring, this is it, this is the silver rush has begun. And you can see this is back in 2011 when silver hit $50, right? Do you see how fast it happened? It almost happened, overnight. And that's why it crashed. So yes, we want silver to hit $50 again. Yes, we want to see $100 silver, but it's not going to happen overnight. Don't listen to these silver pumping channels. Silver's not going to be $100 tomorrow. It's not going to be next week. It's not going to be next month. It's not going to be next year. It's going to be several years down the line. And that's just understanding and being realistic about the silver market. It's a much slower paced market. I'm not planning on selling for 15, 20 years. So if you're in this for a quick flip or a quick bang for your buck, you might want to find a different investment. Maybe go to cryptocurrency or stocks, because gold and silver is a much slower paced investment. And it's not even about money. It's preserving your wealth against inflation. It's hedging against inflation. It's putting fake money into real money. Gold and silver is real money. Fiat currency is a promise. Fiat currency is based off of who thinks the dollar is worth that much. And if people lose faith in it, then it loses its value. See, regardless of who says that 1 ounce silver coin is worth what, the silver inside of it's the value. In our issue of the Fleet Street Letter Monthly Alert for March, we laid out the way in which investors could load up on silver not only without paying the premiums, but at a discount. It's looking like a good decision. So two more boxes to tick. This is a chart of the silver to Dow ratio with its 50-day moving average in blue trailing alongside it, courtesy of the macro strategist Lynn Alden on Twitter. In effect, this is the value of the Dow Jones when measured in ounces of silver. When silver is a better buy than stocks, it goes up. When stocks are a better buy than silver, it goes down. And you can see this is just people transferring their money. You know, they're not going to ever move parallel to each other. You know, they're always going to counteract each other. As you can see on the far right-hand side, as Alden pointed out, silver has broken through its 50-day moving average, and for the first time since 2002, a very bullish signal. And there's definitely a lot of signals from 5G technology. You know, we're going into a green revolution, a green era, you know, with solar panels, that's PV cells, photovoltaic cells, which is silver, right? 5G towers going up, everything is turning into a 5G world, you know, and silver is needed more for this. So demand for silver is coming up from 5G, electric vehicles, right? Since silver is the most highly conductive metal for thermal conductivity, electric vehicles, which every car in 30, 40 years is going to be an electric vehicle. Silver is widely used for that, but not only that, we also have green energy. We have so many different things, from 5G technology, from electric vehicles to green energy, which is solar panels. Everything's turning green nowadays, and this is what this next, this next paragraph's talking about, right? And as we go into green energy, or this green revolution, silver is needed for that. So we have a huge demand coming in. And that's not even including individual investors like you and I that's going to want to buy more silver as the price goes up and it's more attractive. So there's a huge demand, but there's a diminishing supply. The production of silver has been being cut back by the hundreds of millions of ounces for the last 7 or 8 years. And this was way before this pandemic. This is because silver just isn't profitable. It's not as profitable as gold, lead, or zinc. It's found as a byproduct. So green silver. I've always got time for the silver bugs and the silver community in general. You can go some wild, feral rabbit holes, but it's full of interesting characters, theories, and intrigue. Several years back when I was discovering this community, I remember reading a great tract from one of the most devout silver bugs out there on how everyone loves silver. One after another paragraph, he argued how the U.S. founding fathers, the population of China, manufacturers, environmentalists, the military, honest governments, women, miners, investors, inventors, scientists, blah, 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 love silver. Good times. It was quite a read. He made a compelling and verbose argument for each party, but I've been wondering about the environmentalists' love for silver again. So, back during the last silver boom in 2011, one of the main narratives that kept being spun in the silver world was the use of silvers in renewable energy technologies for the future. And that's so true. We're going into a new technological era, and silver is going to be widely used in this since it's an industrial metal. The use for silver and solar panels, like I just mentioned, was something often repeated and written about. This attracted broader interest to the silver space and supported the silver price. With all the talk about green energy these days, and importantly, all of the money being thrown at the sector by governments and investors alike, I wonder if we'll see a similar narrative about silver's green properties emerging soon. It could be an incredibly potent mix for the silver price, the hard money silver bugs on one side, and the green ESG investors with boatloads of cash on the other side. So I love this article, right? And not only does it capture the essence of what it feels like to be a silver stacker, but it does give the facts. It gives the narrative, and it gives the information that we need to know to see silver's potential, to see where silver is headed. And it's only looking like it's headed higher. Some speculate, $25 silver by the end of the year. Some speculate lower, some speculate higher. To be realistic, try to take everything, because this is the thing. You can't really listen to price forecasts or price predictions because we don't have a crystal ball to see the future. We don't know how the 2020 presidential election is going to go. Just like last year, all the price predictions for silver this year are way off because nobody knew there was going to be a global pandemic. So take things day by day. Just look at them realistically. Look at them as if, you aren't approached by the same person's mind frame. What I mean is, if you can tie in what's happening in the economy and what's happening in the charts, starting to read charts from the signals, the triangle patterns, all that, you can get a pretty accurate number for where silver is for the next couple of days or so. But when it goes past that, it's all speculation, and you don't want to get based on that. You don't want to see Bitcoin is based off of speculation. You don't want to go that route. Gold and silver have more of an intrinsic value. They have more of a real value from supply and demand. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to smash the like button. Let's see if this video can get 300 likes. Like this video if you love precious metals. Like this video if you're bullish on silver. I post 2 to 3 videos a day, so you want to be subscribed. I will give you the newest, latest, freshest, most up-to-date recent information in the world of precious metals, exactly what's happening. You need to stay subscribed, turn on post notifications so you know, you're the first to know what's happening with gold and silver. I'm going to wrap this video up here. The link to this article will be in the description. This was Silver Slayer. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.